Hey everybody, James here, and in this free training I'm going to cover the 3 steps to massive success in a healthcare practice. I'm going to cover why most marketing doesn't work in healthcare, how to beat competition by making them irrelevant, why no one cares about your services and why it doesn't matter, and how to break a practice growth plateau. So the 3 steps to having massive success in a healthcare practice start with these 3 principles. The first is attraction. We have to be able to attract enough leads and potential clients into our business so that we can convert them into becoming new patients, new clients, and getting people to actually start with us in our treatment services. So attraction is number 1. We have to have the ability to attract predictably and on demand and with consistency new patients, new leads, etc. into our practice. The second is retention. Okay, retention means converting people into starting with us, having people continue with recommendations, sticking out their care plans, retaining their friends and family members into our practice as well, bringing them in, referrals, etc., and delivering our services in a way that gives value, gives results, and has people feeling good and becoming raving fans of ours. And the third is expansion. Expansion is where we take what our practice is, as we've added more people to it and we're retaining them well, and we look at how we can expand further. Do we want to add online programs to better serve existing clients? Do we want to create new programs to draw other people in, either locally, domestically, or internationally? And then we have to also look at how we're expanding further into additional practitioners, allied health that support us. So for example, if you're an acupuncturist or a chiropractor or a medical doctor, hiring other professions to come and work in your practice, or hiring additional practitioners of the same field. So if you're a chiropractor and you're nice and busy yourself, but you're limited in your growth because you can't see any more people, then as a practitioner you're successful. But as a business owner, you can get more successful by hiring additional practitioners to serve the overflow of clients and allow you to ramp your marketing up so that you can fill those practitioners as well. Now, a lot of clients that I work with are starting from zero, starting from absolute scratch, and our first goal is just scaling them up. Then we look at how we can expand further into additional practitioners. But a lot of my clients actually already are successful. They've got $1 million practices, they've got high 6-figure practices, and they've hit a plateau because the practitioners in there are busy, but not busy enough, or they want to expand further, but they don't have the ability to attract enough clients through the doors so they can retain them and then fill up their associates. So what we focus on is how we can expand into additional practitioners, either to supplement, like I said before, with people who are not from your profession, right, to bolster the service offerings that you have in your clinic, or additional practitioners in your industry so you can serve more of that type of client in your practice. And the next way of expanding is actually looking at additional locations. Sometimes we get full, we fill it with practitioners, there's no more space, and either we have to move ourselves to a new location with more space in it, or we keep that as a satellite practice and we grow a second, third, fourth, etc. practice. So when we have the right systems in place, we're able to expand beyond what we're currently doing, reach more people, make more income, have a better lifestyle, and naturally impact more people, which is the key to all of this. We have to be making sure that we have the income we want, but we also have to make sure that we're impacting the people around us and generating a lifestyle from it. Because there's no point in working 100 hours a week, making lots of money, but being completely burnt out. So just to summarize, those 3 things is attraction. You have to be bringing in enough people. Retention, you have to be keeping them and converting them. And then expansion is number 3, which is additional practitioners either in your industry or in supplementary industries, or more locations and online programs and things like that to expand your reach more people, help more people, and grow beyond where you're currently at. So the next part I want to cover is why most marketing doesn't work in healthcare. And the reason for that is with healthcare, things are very commoditized. If you're a chiropractor, you might treat back pain. If you're an acupuncturist, you might treat back pain. If you're a massage therapist, body worker, you might treat back pain. And so what I'm getting at is there are a lot of different service offerings in different industries for the same things. There's also a lot of people within those industries trying to do the same thing for their practices as well. And so when we're looking at things, healthcare is typically a system where people expect certain things. They expect to be able to go to their doctor, have their insurance cover it, or only have a small copay, or if they are paying cash, they're not wanting to pay lots. And that's because their expectations are that there's going to be somebody else who's going to offer that for us. And they've commoditized it in their mind because they're looking at it, well, I have back pain and I want my back pain gone. So our job is to become very clear on exactly what that person is going through and understanding their story. Because if you think about back pain in this analogy, right, and this applies to anything, I've got 15 to 20 different healthcare industries within my program. So it doesn't matter if you're a naturopath, an audiologist, a speech pathologist, there are industries that I work with, and they're all in the healthcare service business, but they all serve different types of clients, but it's the same model that I'm talking about, right? There's insurance, there's cash, there's commoditization, there's people looking at what you have and thinking, can I find someone cheaper who's going to do more stuff and be more convenient for me? So what we need to focus on is understanding our client's journey. If we know where our client's at, and we know where our client wants to be, then our treatment is what bridges the gap. It takes them out of pain and improves their quality of life. Our marketing is what connects with that person to have them start a conversation with us so that we can see whether we can help them, what that would look like. So most marketing, it's very much just, I'm going to put my message out there and I'm just going to yell at people, right? It's like standing in a train station screaming at people, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. No one cares. That's why there's flyers everywhere. Like, for example, if you've ever done a flyer drop yourself, you'll know that the conversion rate on it is terrible. If you've ever looked in your letterbox, you'll find just crap tons of flyers because no one cares. And that's a prime example. We're just disseminating information hoping somebody will find it. But who's to say that, let's say I'm a dentist and I put a flyer out saying come in for a dental check, that somebody else isn't doing the exact same thing? So how does a person choose us, right? Because they could just go anywhere. Well, when we understand our client's story and their journey, we know what drives them to take action. And so it's like standing in a train station and yelling or whispering, because when we know who we're talking to, we don't have to yell, and saying, excuse me, lady in the red dress with blonde hair, would you like a chocolate chip cookie? And her turning around and saying, you're talking to me? I'd love a chocolate chip cookie. How did you know I liked them? And that's because we understand their needs, their wants, their fears, their frustrations, their desires, and so we can speak to that. We can craft a message, a story that resonates with that person and gets them to actually engage with us. Because once they engage with us, then we can provide value, we can show them we're an expert, we can show them we're the authority that can help them get the outcomes they're looking for. But also, when you understand their story, you understand that there is more to it than just the symptom. I'll give the back pain analogy. I'll give the back pain as another analogy, right? Like, let's say I've got sciatica or I've blown a disc or whatever, my back hurts. If I'm going to someone for treatment and I'm saying I want pain relief, why am I not just taking pain drugs? Or getting someone to stand on my back or massage it to make it feel nice, putting a heat pack on there? Why am I seeking your services, right? The reason is because it's more than just the pain. The problem is that I can only communicate pain because that's what I know and feel in this moment, but really it's also about how it's making me feel, right? Tired, stressed out, like I'm not good enough, can't play with my kids, want to go for a walk but I can't, wife's nagging me to fix the house up or go lift some boxes and I can't do it. Like, that sort of stuff is really what drives people. And so when you understand that, you're able to communicate at that level. And this is where people will say to you, how did you know? Or everything you said is exactly what I'm going through, right? They say that because they're surprised, because they're going in with the mindset of I want pain relief. But deep down there's other things going on. So most marketing in healthcare doesn't work because we're just shouting at people saying buy my shit, which no one cares about. And so they get overwhelmed, and it's like going to the supermarket and trying to buy peanut butter, and it's 50 million choices. You're ending up, you're just going to leave the supermarket and buy jelly instead and not be satisfied because you wanted peanut butter, but it's too hard to make a choice, so you just got something else. So we need to cut through that noise. And when we're just displaying our message through flyers and Google ads and search engine optimization and networking and health talks and all this sort of stuff, it's the same stuff that people see everywhere. And so we have to break that. We have to focus on providing value, connecting with their story, engaging with them. And when we do that, we create marketing that draws people to us. That allows us to start the dialogue and show value and get them to start working with us. Because we are not actually in the healthcare business. We're in the business of getting people to say yes. If people don't say yes, then there's no way for them to start with us, because they have to say yes to start. And then that allows us to actually get them results. So if you have an ideal client and you know you can produce results and change their life, your job's not to do that yet. Your job's first to just get them to say yes. And that starts with them saying, yes, I want a conversation. Yes, I'll listen to you. Yes, I'll follow your advice, and start. And if you can do that, then you'll have a successful practice. And this is why most marketing doesn't work in healthcare, because people who are doing it for us don't understand this. And when we do it, we don't fully understand it. And that's why in the Practice Mastery program, I go through that in a lot of detail and helping you get very specific on exactly who you serve, exactly how you serve them, and how you're positioning yourself as that expert so that they are drawn to you to take that action because it just makes sense. And that allows us to communicate more effectively, get more people to sign up and say yes, retain them longer, and our business grows. This leads me on to my next point, which is how to beat competition by making them irrelevant. In all industry, there is always competition because nothing that we do is necessarily entirely new. We have a new angle on it, or a new approach, or a new person, so there's a new personality behind it, but the thing itself is not new. And even if it is, people are going to compete from the old way. If I'm selling the first car, then there's going to be companies that have horses that are trying to compete with my car, and they're going to be talking about their horses and why it's better. And so ultimately people still get confused. So when we realize this, first we have to understand that the market is commoditized. There are people that are going to try and do things cheaper, they're going to try and do more stuff than us, they're going to try and be more convenient than us. Our job is to focus on one single thing, which is our ideal client. When we understand our ideal client, when we know what they're going through, we know their story, then we can position ourselves as the expert for them and their journey. And when we do that, it becomes about the person. It becomes about the person in front of us that we're actually trying to help. And when we do that, it makes sense for people to want to work with us and it becomes easier. But it also makes our competition irrelevant. Because just like my previous point, when we're just blasting people with a message, it doesn't work because no one cares. So we have to care and show them we care by understanding them, not by just pampering them, right, and giving them a whole lot of random crap and free offerings and free this and free that. We just have to show we care by understanding them. And when we understand them, suddenly their ears prick up and think, oh, this person knows what I'm going through. They understand me. I'm going to speak to them. I'm going to ask them more things and see if they can help me. Because people are always looking for options. When they are, whether you're buying a car, whether you're buying a house, whether you're buying insurance, or whether you're buying healthcare, nobody is jumping into that sales process looking to be sold. What they're looking for is for you to provide value and show them why you are the best option. Not to sell them, but to be the best option. Because they already have options in their head, and you're kidding yourself if you think that they don't. They've got options, they're weighing them all up. They're looking for you to come in and show them why you're the best option so that all that pressure can come off and they can just trust you and follow through and get a result. And this leads me to my next point, which is why no one cares about your services and it doesn't matter. No one cares about your services and your products, your treatments, the letters after your name, how many years you spent at college or anything like that at university. No one cares because all they care about is themselves. They care about what you can do for them, the result you can give them. So if you come in with all your fancy terminology and big, words and stuff like that, they're going to get overwhelmed because it's not at their level, not speaking to them. If I have people in front of me who have chronic pain and I know that I can improve their quality of life and I know that I can have them experience wellness and feel really good and get dancing again, maybe they're a ballroom dancer and they couldn't before and now they can and blah, blah, blah. But they're coming in with pain and I talk to them about all this crazy stuff, they're not going to resonate because it's not on their level yet. And they don't care what letters you have after your name. They don't care what fancy techniques and laser machines you use. They just want to get a result. And so I call this the magic fish technique, which is basically if I whacked you with a magic fish and your, for example, migraines disappeared, your 20 years of migraines, tried everything, and my fish took it away, even though you might think it's crazy, even though everyone around you is going to think it's crazy, you don't really care because your migraines are gone. So it doesn't matter what I do. It matters the result I get. And therefore, when I'm communicating, I need to be communicating about that result, not about me and what I have, but about you, about the person listening, about the ideal client. Communicating to them is what's key. If we're communicating to our patients at their level, then it doesn't matter whether they care about our services or not, because our services don't matter. We're the ones who care about our services. We want to try to provide the best service to produce the result for our ideal patient. From the patient's perspective, they just care about getting a result. So the less we focus on us, the more we focus on them, the better for our business because we're able to grow. My final point is how to break a practice growth plateau. Now, whether we're just starting out or whether we've been in business for years, a plateau is when something was happening and then it stopped. And if you're just starting out, then what was happening was your energy and motivation to get people to come through the door. And what has stopped is your ability to actually bring those people in. If you're already successful, then this is really aimed at you. If you're running a 6 or multi-6-figure healthcare practice, even a 7-figure healthcare practice, but you're finding that you're not able to grow in the way that you previously did, the stuff you were doing was not working, then you need to understand that there are 3 components to this. There is the attraction of people, the conversion of people, and the retention of people. Now, what that comes down to is, in business, there are only 3 things that matter: the number of new customers, the number of transactions per customer, and the dollar amount per transaction. So if you want to grow your business, do one of those 3 things. Charge more, and you'll make more money, right? Because your expenses are the same, so therefore your profit goes up. Have more transactions with those people, i.e. get them to come back more frequently. So if they're coming back 10 times and you want them to come back 20 times, then your practice doubles if you can get everybody to do that. Even if you only got half of the people to come in twice as much, your practice has gone up by 50%. So the last thing with that is just have more customers. Now, out of all of those 3 things, we can change our prices, but only by so much. We can get people to come back more, but only by so much. The thing that we can control the most, the thing that will make the biggest difference, is the number of customers we have. So if we have systems in place, marketing systems, frameworks that deliver predictable and consistent results and generate us the clients we want, then we can produce massive results. And in the past, you might have heard me talk about my client, Deanne. Deanne was a chiropractor in Australia. She was doing about $10,000 per week, and after 5 months of working with me, she hit $28,000 per week. And she did that even though her systems were already good. She had the systems in place to grow and manage a 7-figure practice, but she couldn't get there because she was capped at how much she can charge. She could charge a little bit more, but not really. Not enough to triple her practice, right? She could see people more frequently or more in their lifetime, but not triple it. So the only thing we could do was change the amount of new people that were coming through her door. So I work on all 3 of these things with you in the Practice Mastery program. I work with you on your attraction, your conversion, and your retention. But first, we need to look at what's going to move the needle the most. What's going to allow us to go from 0 to 60 as fast as possible. And the thing to do that is the number of new clients that you're bringing into your practice. So goal 1 of the Practice Mastery program is to really increase the amount of new patient leads that you're getting, people into your email list, people on the phone, and people into your practice. We want to create more buzz. We want more people to know about you and more people to be taking action with you. When we do that, that solves most problems flat out to begin with. If I could give you an extra 10 to 30 new clients next week, that'd make a massive difference. Now, the key with this is it shouldn't be a ceiling of which we cannot attract any more people, right? So if I'm doing marketing right now, I'm doing Google ads and it's working. But if I scale that, I should be able to continue to scale that indefinitely. And if it's not, then there's a problem. So what I want to be able to give to you is frameworks that allow you to produce results predictably, right, and on demand, but where you can scale it up. So Deanne hit 30 new patients per week for her and her associates that she was able to hire because she was getting more new patients. But she was capped there because of her ability to hire more people to continue to serve them. So her attraction is nailed. Now we need to look at retention. So if you remember at the start of this video, I talked about there's 3 things to grow a successful practice. There is attraction, there's retention, and there's expansion. She is at that phase of expanding further so she can serve more people and continue to grow. But it started with attraction. It started with bringing in enough people. Once they're there, then we can optimize our retention by converting more people into starting with us, by converting more people into starting our programs, and converting them into future programs, and then retaining those people. But if you don't have enough coming through the door, then there's no point in trying to convert and retain anybody because you've got no one there. There's no point in having systems or worrying about a front desk staff or software or a brand, a logo. None of it matters. And so in essence, the only way to grow a successful practice, whether you're starting at 0 or whether you're running $1 million practice, is to nail your attraction process. Then we work on your retention. Then we work on your further expansion. So if you found this video useful, this free training that I've done here, I want you to make sure that you book a strategy session with me so that we can actually discuss your practice, figure out where you're at and where you want to be and whether I can help and whether or not we're a good fit. And if I feel like we're a good fit, we'll talk about what it is that I have to offer with the Practice Mastery program and whether or not you want to participate in that to get the kind of results that my clients do. Now, if you've already spoken to me and you're on the fence about joining, you need to really take a serious look at this. This program is not an online course that teaches you some Facebook ads and random crap and then you're left to figure it out. This is not a course like everybody else's course which teaches you different things and that's it. This is a done with you lifetime access coaching program. So what that means is once you're part of the program, you get access to lifetime updates on the Practice Mastery frameworks, the foundational training material. It's updated every 6 months or so. You get lifetime access to a mastermind support group with all the other members in it, where we're working together, we're surrounding ourselves with successful people, we're learning from their industries, they're there to help each other, to discuss things, to network. I'm there answering questions and providing value on top of everything else that you get. The mastermind group is a key part of success with this, because if we're not surrounded by successful people, it can be hard for us to actually see what success is. And that's what the Practice Mastery program gives you. The third thing is you get lifetime access to weekly coaching calls. Every week we run a coaching call that you can jump on, listen to people's questions, listen to the advice that I give them and learn from that, but also ask your own questions. Help strategize with me on what you should be doing, help you get unstuck, help you break those plateaus, get clarity. And this is designed, those three components, the frameworks and foundational training material, the mastermind group and the coaching, to allow you to implement what's already proven to work. I'm not giving you random crap and then leaving you to figure it out. I'm not even teaching you Facebook ads and then you have to learn how to use it. I'm teaching you what works in healthcare, what allowed me to generate $1 million in revenue within 2 years of opening my own practice, and bearing in mind I'd been out of practice for about 9 months when I started that journey, right? $1 million. It's what I've allowed my clients to be able to generate as well in their practices. Deanne hitting over $1 million a year in practice. Jason doing the same thing. There are endless clients that are massively scaling their practices from nothing to 6 figures, and from 6 to multi-6, and from multi-6 to 7 figures. So this is proven stuff. This is stuff that my clients are all using. These are frameworks that are proven to work, and then we begin to customize them as we're implementing. So if someone's wanting to sell an online program, if someone's wanting to sell programs of treatment or programs of care, if they're trying to attract people in or build their authority or sell their events, all of this stuff is taught in the program, and I teach you how to apply my strategies to get massive results as well with those. So if you are on the fence, reply back. Let me know that you're interested. Let's get you signed up and let's get you involved, because on that onboarding call, which is that first call you do with me, a private call with me, we're going to develop your 90-day plan to how to maximize results in your practice and ideally double your practice in the next 3 months. That's my goal for you. That's my goal for all my clients, and that's the results you can get if you implement the Practice Mastery frameworks properly and you engage me when you need help. And that's what I'm there for. And this is lifetime access. This stuff doesn't disappear, because I want to replace all the bullshit artists out there with their online courses and all the agencies that don't understand healthcare. I'm here to teach you how to be successful, and modeling somebody who's successful and doing what they do is the best way to get success. It's what I did, and it's what I do for my clients, and it's what I want to do for you. Is I want you to model me so I can pull you up to where I'm at and then point you in the best direction to go to next. So what I want you to do is book a strategy session with me. Let's discuss you joining the program. If you're on the fence already and we've already spoken and you're looking at joining and you're figuring things out, look at more testimonials, watch more content, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to take action. And action is the only way that you get results. So I want you to take action, and I want you to sign up and join, because I know that once you're working with me, you're going to be so glad that you did.